Hey folks, I'm back and I want to say hello again, and as promised I'm back with a new video about Ettercap, and today I want to drag you through some new things that come with the new Ettercap version we've been working on now quite since a long time. And but we have done quite a lot of things, and I would like to highlight some of those and show you one of the major improvements we have put into the new version. So let's have a look at the changelog. So the new version 08.3 has this little tiny code name here, but just have a look at the new features that are coming in. And I want to pick one thing first, is the graphical user interface. The graphical user interface has been completely reworked to, mainly, let's say, keep pace with the changes in the GTK library and framework. But at the same time, we also reworked the look, the look and feel of the graphic user interface. So I would say let's fire up Ettercap and have a look how it's looking now. So put this in the background, and then we can focus here on this window. So I think right on the first view, on the first glance, you can see that it has changed quite some bit. And so let's go through it. So you don't find a menu here in this window. So the classical menu approach has gone away, and it's really integrating in the look and feel other GNOME applications. You look at them. And I've put we've put the most important things right into the main screen, and with very simple controls you can, let's say, set up Ettercap, and you don't need to click through menus and so on until you set it up. You just do your decision here. For example, you don't want to sniff at startup, right? When you finish setup, you want to do it explicitly. Okay, then switch it off, right? Or you can just select the primary interface. And if you want to do bridge sniffing instead of unified, you just switch it on and then select your bridge interface. Yeah. Or you then I want to do have the standard options here. Of course, we still have menus here. One is behind this little icon here, this little Ettercap icon. Here you find the basic things that have been in the file menu before. So like you want to read on pcap, or you want to write the packets into a pcap while you are doing your man in the middle, and other things like about dialog, classical things. And here we have also the little options menu if you want to, let's say, modify the net mask explicitly, so make it bigger or smaller, or if you want to run it in unoffensive mode, so to be very silent, you can set it here. And then when you're done, you just press this little checkbox button here, and then setup is finished, and Ettercap now begins its work. And we have chosen to run a sniffing at startup. So now then the second button that you see here at the top, so still no menu, right? No classical menu. And this is the button that starts and stops sniffing, like a play and a stop button on your video recorder. Yeah, now you just click it and okay, unified sniffing was stopped, and then I want to start it again. And it's like this way. Really simple, really direct, accessible. And also the main and most important functions we've put into this header bar. Next would be scan for hosts. You always need, let's say, next to always need to scan for hosts. And the third is the hosts menu. Yeah, so when you hear scan for hosts and then want to have a look at them, that's as you are used to it. At the right side, next to the close button, you will find the content of the former menu in a kind of a drop-down menu behind this menu button here. For example, if I want to enable IPv6 scanning, I have still to explicitly enable it in the hosts menu. Just enable, and you of course have to rescan to gather the information. Yeah. So what else do we have? So we have here the most important thing is the man in the middle menu. We have a little bit adjusted the ordering. So we put ARP and NDP together because they are so familiar. It's the compagnon, I would say, just for the two address families. Yeah, so let's try just to fire up an ARP poisoning session here. So target 1, target 2, and now just go into the ARP poisoning. Here you can see that the OK and cancel button is incorporated into this header bar, and don't waste more space for the extra space for the buttons. And something we've changed as well is that we enabled or checked the remote sniffing for NDP and ARP poisoning by default, because I think that's the most use case, the use case most people want, and therefore you can all the time, if you don't need it, just uncheck it and you okay. Okay, so this is started, and if you want to stop it, you would have to either go to the menu and go to the stop man in the middle attacks item as you are used to it before, or just press this like emergency brake button here, the stop man in the middle button dedicated, and then it's re-ARPing and it informs you that it has stopped, and after a short period of time it will disappear after you've hopefully read the information. Yeah, so this is the basic thing about, no, I want to highlight one more thing, because we've now have an own shortcuts, let's say, overview of all the shortcuts Ettercap has. And it shows you in a very classical, or not classical, in a very modern fashion, I would say. And you can even search for, when you're looking for, you want to scan for hosts, what it is. It's Control S. Or I want to view the connections table. Here I see now the combination for the connections table. So very handy, very fast and effective. Yeah, so, but I think now I covered everything regarding the graphical user interface. So let's go back to the list of what we've done so far. What else do we have? GTK3 is now the main build type. So this is only plays a role if you build it from source. In the past, when you just leave the options by default, you would have get a GTK2 based graphical user interface, and yeah, it's not very fancy, and it even makes now quite a lot of problems because it's not maintained anymore. And this is the reason why we put GTK3 now as the default, and at the same time we've initiated the phase out of GTK2. So effectively what it means, you can still build it against this library, but you will get an deprecation warning that in future versions this support will be dropped. Maybe the next, we haven't yet decided. Yeah, so this is one thing to highlight here. What else? This one here. This is a very interesting topic, multi-threaded name resolution. So let's go back to the Ettercap instance. So here we have our hosts, right? I don't know how many it was. There were 13 hosts, so 13 is not many. You wouldn't experience a difference if you're single-threaded name resolution or if you're multi-threaded. The point is when your list grows to, let's say, 500 hosts or 1,000 hosts, which can happen in very large networks. And when you then say go to the menu and want to go to view, and I want to enable IP address name resolution, and in the old version you click this checkbox, and then the graphical user interface freezes until it's done all the name resolutions. And now it's not the case because everything is done in the background, and once the information is there, the GUI is updated. Like, so let's do it. Click. And here you have seen just been shortly putting on resolving. So that means, okay, the data is not yet there, but it's retrying in the background. And when it's there, here you're seeing, it's then been updated right away. Yeah, so this is one more topic I want to highlight that we've really improved Ettercap. So what else do we have? This is very important. So I don't know how experienced or how much you've done with SSL interception with Ettercap. There has been one big drawback in the past. So by default, it's disabled, of course. So when you go up to the message pane, and then it says here, there's 2 lines. It informs you that there's something necessary in the configuration file to be done for SSL dissection, and it gives you, let's say, a little hint what you have to do. But if you enabled it in the past version, this was kind of an everything or nothing approach, right? So you could either intercept all traffic or disable it. And with the new version, you can now customize. You can say, for example, when you enable everything, but you're only interested in dissecting a connection between one host and one specific web server, but then you also intercepted all the Google traffic, for example, or Facebook, and then Facebook stopped working because these things are HSTS protected, and then it's becoming ugly. Now you can really say, oh no, I don't want to do everything. I want to do just this little thing. So now I have to pull up my this configuration file here. So etter.conf. I think you may be familiar with what is in there. So 2 things are important to enable SSL interception. First is you need to run Ettercap in privileged mode. So the default is that you run unprivileged. So that's why here also the message dropping privileges to is basically the user ID of nobody. And you have to replace it with 0, making it now running it with root privileges. And then you have to scroll to quite at the bottom and go to your section for your operating system. So in my case, it's Linux. And so I think IP chains, we should also drop this from the configuration in the next version. Nowadays, only IP tables is the only the only command you will use. And of course, if you have an IPv6 network, you have also to enable so just remove the comment at the beginning, the v6 version of the same command. So let's make it a bit bigger. Okay, so that's it. Then we have to save it. Damn it, it's write protected. Okay, so I have to do it differently. etc ettercap etter.conf sudo, and go to the bottom, Linux. So okay, now, and I think we have to restart Ettercap because it's reading the configuration at the startup. So just launching it again. I change to my correct interface. And where's my hosts list? Here's my hosts list. So at the moment, we have everything intercepted, and we reach this customization menu in the man in the middle menu in the header bar, and here we have a new item called Ssl Intercept. So when you go to it, a new list opens, and this is the status how it was before, right? So it shows you which IP version, what is the source and the destination, and the service to be redirected to Ettercap, right? To terminate the SSL. And these are all the services we support for interception, and all are set to any. And if you want to see what's behind in the background, You have to go to a command line and then tables nltnet. So this is basically what's been done in the background. It's the same here. So when I say, okay, I don't want to do this, I want really a specific connection, I can either select a line here and say then remove, or I can just press delete, or just right click and say, I want to remove all redirects, please, and all are gone. And we can verify in recalling the same IP tables command, and we see no more nothing rules in the back. And now I can insert a new rule that I want really to be very specific. So I have to choose the IP version, where it's from where. So if I want to differentiate, or if not, I can then just do it this way. So I want to see any traffic that goes to this subnet, and I want to interested only in HTTPS traffic, and then say insert, and it's there. I don't need to. I have to. Let's say, don't forget about the IPv6 version about this. Otherwise, I may not see what I want to see. DBA something .1 or 0/64. And here also HTTPS and say insert. So now they are here. And if I now recall this command, I see here the IPv4 redirect only for this network. So only traffic that is going to this network is really intercepted and redirected to Ettercap. Everything else is just being switched through. And the same, of course, for the IPv6 version. We have it here. So this is a very huge improvement, and it makes it very powerful, this tool, in regards to SSL interception, because it is not any longer so noisy in this matter. So what else? Let's go back to the list. Yeah, so we have had an issue with the DNS Spoof plugin when you're running in bridged mode. So effectively, it sent out the spoof DNS replies onto the wrong interface. This has been fixed. Was very ugly. We have fixed a lot of security issues, like one we have gotten a CVE for. We have fixed it, and other potential things. Let's say we have also fixed the underflow overflow conditions, and we also worked very hard under the hood. Ettercap is a library, right? So it's lib Ettercap. But in the previous versions, the dependencies of the executable portion and what's in the library, they've not been very strictly been separated. So in this we have fixed. We are really properly separated from the executables to the library. All the functionalities in the library that needs to be there. And really the executables are there. That tiny, you can see it from the file size. They are very different. Fixed a lot of build warnings, so there's just these cosmetic things here. Non-aligned filters, so we have seen an issue with not say an issue, but a potential security risk, because the filter content, when it's compiled, has been not aligned in memory. So we fixed that, but this needs a recompilation of the filters. So if you have an old, let's say a filter source file, normally with the extension ECF, and you want to reuse it with a new version, you have to recompile it with a new version at a filter, because otherwise it won't work, because this alignment now doesn't match. Yeah, so one of the weird topics we fixed also is a really long bug we have a long time in our code, and it's only regarding bridge when you're running bridge mode, and it only becomes visible when you give a little bit of pressure through Ettercap, right? When you want to send from one interface to the other, vice versa. Then you have seen weird things going on, like packets that have not been there, should not be there, but are on the wrong side, and you see message too long, error messages, these coming from a race condition, and we fixed that into dedicating the packet buffer for each of the interfaces for Ettercap. So this is now fixed, and it really improves also the throughput and the reliability of bridge mode. It's now really stable and bulletproof. And one more thing we've just recently fixed is the comparison of binary strings in Etterfilter. So in the past, you have not been able to, let's say, if you want to compare a field in or an offset, let's say in the data payload, you want to offset something 6 bytes, later want to match a byte pattern, and if this byte pattern contains somewhere a 0 byte, and then it doesn't work. And this has been fixed now, not only for the comparison, but also from the assignment. Then if you want to rewrite or overwrite the payload, this was the same flaw on this side and has also been fixed. Yeah, and many of the household work has also been done in the background. For example, here we've worked in getting rid of the deprecated versions of various low-level functions, like the inet a2n function have been replaced. Yeah, so that is more or less it. I can think now of showing you and the new things in Ettercap. I think the most biggest things. One thing I want to say, of course, this SSL topic, what we've seen here, is of course also available in all the other other user interfaces. For example, when you started in cursus mode, we have also adjusted a little bit the colors because that are hard to see. Here the menu structure is still the same. And I go here to midterm, and I have also here the Ssl Intercept at the same position. I have here all the rules, and I can delete them all. Okay. So if I want to see how it works, I just press space, and I see a little help dialog here. So insert and delete. Okay, I press now insert. Where is it? Here we go. And here you have this little dialog. It's basically the same, but it's a little bit different here in cursus because it's a text-based interface. So if, for example, if you write here IPv6 and want to file this, normally it shouldn't work. So IPv4, say 0 here to this host, and I want to put this. Okay. Again, IPv6. Let's see if this really works. HTTPS. Now it get an error. Yeah, so this doesn't work. Okay. Okay, here we go. So it doesn't stop, but it's just not been inserted. Yeah, so and the same also applies for the text interface. Oops, sorry, wrong. Text. But with these text-based interfaces, it's not that convenient. Yeah, okay, I don't want to see the packets. And you just press, I think, oh no, help. Yeah. And with help, you see here, R is now reserved for Ssl Intercept rules. So I press R, and I just get them printed. I can delete the number. For example, I can delete, let's say, 1 to 20. Okay, it just deleted 1. Okay, I have to do it this way. D1. Yeah, so it's much more convenient on a graphic user interface, and then you press insert, and now you've been taken through a little kind of a wizard what you want to do. So which version you get listed, to get a list of what is possible to get intercepted. So I want an IPv4, I want to source any destination 1234 and service HTTPS, and then it's inserted. And if I have a look at it, for example, tables and LTNet, and there we go. Here is the redirect to the Ettercap listener. So, okay, but I think now I'm really gone. I think or I hope that you will have joy with the new Ettercap version, with all new features and fixed bugs and fixed issues in this version. We are continuously working on making it better, bringing more features in, even though it's becoming more and more difficult in these days. So watch out in our channels like YouTube, our website, or just join our project on GitHub, or otherwise just have fun with Ettercap. And I think also come around with further videos showing you things that maybe are not so basic, but maybe also interesting. If you like it, and if you, let's say, want also to see something else, drop me a comment, and I'll be happy to show what you want to see, right? Okay, so then I would say thanks, and thanks for watching. Hope we see us next time. You see me, I don't see you. But then take care and say bye.